Hello students, today we are going to study the poem The Ant and the Cricket by Aesop. Let's read the first stanza. After that, we'll discuss the word meaning along with the explanation of the stanza. The Ant and the Cricket. A silly young cricket accustomed to sing through the warm, sunny months of gay summer and spring began to complain when found that at home his cupboards were empty and winter was come. Accustomed means usual or habitual. Gay means light-hearted and carefree. In this line, there was a young and silly cricket. He used to spend all his time in singing in the warm summer and spring months, not realizing that these months were also meant for work because with the arrival of winter, finding food would become difficult. Therefore, summer and spring were meant for storing food also. But cricket spent all the time in vain during the happy months, and now his cupboards were entirely empty. The poet in these lines shows how the happy months of summer flew away in no time. With the coming of winter, the cricket realizes the time which he has lost, which was meant for work. Second stanza. Not a crumb to be found on the snow-covered ground, not a flower could he see, nor a leaf on a tree. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me? Crumb means a small fragment of bread, cake or biscuit. In these lines, cricket realizes that the ground was covered with snow and there was not even a crumb to be found. Nor could he see any flower or leaves on the trees. Now he got very much worried. There was perpetually nothing to eat within the house or outside. He became desperate, not knowing what to eat and how to survive. And in the second last line, he is saying, what will become of me? Now he is thinking that what he is going to do next. The poet in these lines showcases how the cricket had nothing within the house or outside to sustain himself, as he has wasted the summer and spring months only in singing, not working at all. Stanza third. At last by starvation and famine made bold, all dripping with wet and all trembling with cold, as he set off to a miserly aunt to see if to keep him alive he would grant. Starvation means death caused by lack of food. Famine, scarcity of food. Trembling means shaking. Miserly, characteristic of miser. Grant, agree to give or allow. Let's come to the explanation. The cricket was starving due to famine, hunger, and no resource to sustain himself during the cold month of winter. The winter had taken a toll of his health. He also had no shelter. He therefore set out to meet a miserly aunt, hoping that the aunt may help him with something that would keep him alive. So in these lines, the poet depicts how the cricket had to forego his self-esteem and go begging before the aunt. Done? Let's come to the fourth stanza. Him shelter from rain and the mouthful of grain he wished only to borrow, he'd repay it tomorrow. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. Mouthful means a quantity of food or drink that fills or can be put in the mouth. Repay means pay back. So disappointment. Now the poet in these lines highlights the cricket's need to borrow grain to help himself or keep himself alive. The cricket approaches the aunt to seek his help for shelter. The rains made it more difficult for the cricket to protect himself from the surrounding of course. He also needed some grain or food to combat hunger and starvation. He informed the aunt that whatever help he would take, he would definitely repay it soon, else his end had come and he would die of starvation. Now here comes the fifth stanza. Says the aunt to the cricket, I am your servant and friend, but we aunt never borrow, we aunt never lend. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing? by when the weather was warm. Quoth the cricket, not I. Lend means or provide. Lay means put or deposit. The aunt feels sorry for the cricket in these lines, but he tells cricket that the aunt never borrow or lend. Perhaps this is the reason that the aunts are self-sufficient and need not to beg in front of anyone. The aunt asked the cricket if he didn't put aside anything in storage for the winter when there is nothing much to be found. The cricket answered in the negative. The aunt was quite surprised and shocked. In these lines, the poet shares the aunt's sense of shock that the cricket didn't save anything for winter during the happy months of summer and spring. Sixth stanza. My heart was so light that I sang day and night, for all nature looked gay. You sang, sir, you say. Go then, says the aunt, and dance the winter away. In these lines, the cricket tells the aunt that he was so happy during the happy months of summer that he sang day and night. He was so happy and the nature looked so pleasant that he forgot all about the winter or the difficult times. Hearing this, the aunt told him that now he should spend the winter singing and dancing too. The aunt tells cricket that there is no point crying now. The poet shows how the cricket gets mocked by the aunt because of his own stupidity. Now here comes the last stanza. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Folks call this a fable. I'll warrant it true. Some cricket have 4 legs and some have 2. Hastily means hurriedly. Wicket, a small door gate. Fable, fictitious tale story conveying a moral. The aunt gets irritated and asks the cricket to leave. Those who do not wish to help themselves cannot be saved by others. The poet in the final couplet of the poem tells his reader that though this tale is believed to be a fable, it is no less than truth. Poet calls that truth because it is true for 4-legged cricket, is also true for 2-legged human. In the final lines of the poem, the poet shares the moral or lesson with his readers. Understood? Let's discuss the figure of speech in this poem. There are 2 figures of speech in this poem. First one is personification. Personification is when humans' characteristics are given to animals or non-living things. It is called personification. The aunt and the duck personified as humans as they are talking and thinking like humans. Second, alliteration. It is the comparison of 2 things. In the last line, some crickets have 4 legs and some have 2. The poet compares lazy and careless people with the cricket. As we have read the poem, along with the word meanings and explanation, I would like to tell you the summary of this poem once again. There was a cricket that sang and danced all through the pleasant months of summer and spring. However, when the winter arrived, he became desperate and began to complain. He hadn't saved and there was no food at home. Even in the spaces beyond his home, he couldn't find anything that would sustain him. He became worried, not knowing what would become of him, and decided to go and meet the aunt. Neither having food nor shelter, he wanted to meet the aunt to seek its help. Explaining his situation and circumstances, the cricket requested the aunt to give him food and shelter. He also told the aunt that if the aunt refused to help him, he would die. The aunt felt sorry for him, but told him that aunts neither borrow nor lend. The aunt asked him what he did during the warm weather. The cricket replied that he sang and danced. The aunt asked him to sing and dance through the winters too. The poem ends with a moral that some human beings are like cricket, who save nothing for the bad weather or situations, and therefore the tale is not a fable but the truth. I hope you have understood the poem now.